Hi students. I am not able to be here today, so I thought once again I would record a video that would help you understand what your expectations are for class today. First of all, a quick reminder about those people who have their Song of the Day presentations coming up. We are beginning those tomorrow. So as you can see, my first period class will begin with Porter, then Chase, then Emily, then Aideen. Second period, Ashley, Caden, Jack, and Gage. Third period, Emma, Kalila, Sarah Kay, and Julian. And fourth period have Reese and Declan signed up. So make sure those of you, especially those of you noted for Tuesday, make sure you are ready to go tomorrow. What we are working on in class today, the first thing is we are introducing our article of the week for the second week of week 4. Remember, this quarter, all of our AOWs are focused on argumentative topics as we continue to learn more about argumentative writing. So you will click on your article of the week set, and then you can choose. I don't care which one you pick as long as you choose from one of the topics. I think there are like 10 to 12 topics listed, and that is what you will be writing about this week in your journals. So make sure you keep that in your journals. That's where your writing will be. So that's the first thing that I wanted to introduce. The second thing that I want to introduce is a vocabulary lesson that you are going to be working on with your this week, in class this week. You do have through Friday to complete it. It is due Friday, and it is all about poetry because April is National Poetry Month. We are going to be reading and writing some poems this week. And as we learn more about poetry, we want to explore what some of the things about poetry are. So there is a video right here that you can click on and watch. It's about a 5-minute poem. Hang on. There goes the bell. It is about a 5-minute video about what makes a poem a poem. It's really interesting. And then if you log into your ClassLink account, you will find the What is Poetry lesson assigned to you. And you will have through Friday to complete this. So as you are working on your work time today, use your headphones, watch this video, and then you can work on some of that vocabulary lesson. The other thing that I wanted to kind of just remind you about that you can be working on Friday, we began gathering evidence for your choice argument. Now, this is not the same as your AOW. This is the topic that we brainstormed last week. You've developed your 3 reasons, and you should be in the process of gathering evidence. Remember, reasons answer the question why, and then evidence is your proof. You have to prove that your reasons are true. The different types of evidence that we introduced last week are anecdotes, which are personal examples or stories, personal experiences, examples from other people. Those require a citation. Make sure you say who that example came from, or where you got it, whether it's a person or whether it was something you saw on the news or an article that you read. Expert opinions, statements made by authorities on that particular subject, those also require citations. And then facts, statistics that you find, those also require citations. Now last week, we began researching. We talked a little bit about the fact that you could do surveys and interviews to gather information. And my first and second period kind of went wild with some surveys. And I said, for my third and fourth period, I said, nope, we're not doing surveys anymore because I need to take a moment to teach you guys how to make an effective survey. So I added a slide this week called Creating Valid Surveys. Some of the surveys that you guys were sending out last week were confusing. They didn't make any sense. So these are some tips to help you make better surveys if you choose to do a survey like a Google form to gather some evidence. So in the survey, you need to make sure you are clear with what is the point of your survey. Explain at the top why you are collecting the information. Give the purpose, who your target audience is, whether you're trying to get information from students or parents or teachers or all of the above. And then how are you going to use the data? How are you going to use, so, I'm going to use this information in an argument about, XYZ. When you are writing your questions, these are the little things to help you craft your questions. I'm going to move my head up here so that you can see all the text. Make sure that your questions are clear. Use simple, direct language, avoiding slang or confusing words or ideas. So make sure it is as clear as it can be. Avoid leading questions. This includes putting little inappropriate emojis pointing at the answer that you want somebody to choose. Make sure your questions are neutral and they don't suggest a particular answer. In order for a survey to be valid, you cannot force somebody to answer the way you want them to. Make sure that your questions are also close-ended. Multiple choice, rating scales. Don't have open-ended questions, because then you're not going to get data that you can really analyze. Make sure your answer choices are balanced and that they accurately reflect the spectrum of possible responses. For example, if you're trying to say that we need more drinks in the cafeteria and you put in the choices, would you rather have Sprite, mud, I don't know, disgusting water from a mud puddle, or something out of a toilet? Of course people are going to pick Sprite. That is not a very balanced answer choice. So make sure that your answer choices reflect all of the possible responses, not just the one you want them to pick. Avoid double-barreled questions. These are questions that have like 2 points to them. Make sure each question is just very simple and focuses on one thing, and then keep it short. People don't want to fill out surveys that are 20 questions long. They might want to fill out a survey with 2 or 3 questions. So make it as short as possible. So if you choose to gather evidence using surveys, remember those tips. You can always go back and revisit that slide if you need more help. So here is what your work time should look like today. You are continuing to gather evidence for your choice argument. You are beginning your article of the week for quarter 4, number 2, and you are beginning your vocabulary lesson. Now note right here, you should be working quietly and independently. I know some of you want to interview each other. Some of you want to collaborate on surveys. Not during class, because last week it got chaotic and nobody could focus when everybody was up bopping around and trying to talk. So everybody should be working independently on whatever they are working on here. Use your time wisely. Think about what you need to do most and start with that. Have a great day, and I will see you all back in class tomorrow.